Good evening, everyone. You're
What's
tuning to another
up?
episode of the 30 Plus Podcast. What's up? This your girl Nika X, and I am joined with Floss's Birth. And what else? What else? What are we going about
AKA.
tonight?
We going by Mike the Menace, Mike the Maker.
Uh,
I'm gonna just keep
Mike
it
the
like
Maker.
that.
Where that come
I got
from?
some me trying to
Where
make
Mike the
up some
Maker come from?
That's a new one. Me trying to make up some stuff out here. Me trying to make stuff happen. So
Hey,
that's a new one for
let me
today.
use you. Okay, let me use you. But it's the 30 Plus Podcast. We talk love, life, and lessons after 30. How are you feeling this evening?
I'm feeling good. I feel a little tired. I don't know. I feel like I ain't been sleeping right or something. I feel like I need
Well, I've
some
been watching
energy
your
to carry
stories,
me
so
through
you've
the
been
old
outside.
age.
But I've been watching the stories, so you've been
Yeah, I wouldn't
outside.
say
So
outside.
you getting
I
old,
feel
my
like I've been
guy.
outdoors, but not outside. It's a difference.
Call it
I'm
what
the
you want.
outdoors, not
You can finesse it all
out.
you want to.
It's a difference.
Yeah.
Hey, I am getting old out here. Though. That body is getting tired.
Uh-huh. That's
I
what
really could sleep
almost
now.
turning 40 do to you.
Yeah, because I'll be ready to sleep. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't be want to wake up past 10 a.m. For
Crazy.
real. I'm sleepy now.
Heard you. I ain't mad at
How you
that.
feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. No complaints here.
Feeling chill?
Yeah,
What you
it's
do
a
this
Monday.
weekend?
What I do this weekend? Oh, I went to the gun range. Let off
Okay.
some steam. Yeah. Yeah. Have to keep it, because you never know.
Hey, that's facts.
You
And it's
never
Texas,
know.
so you can carry it any moment. So you might as well be prepared
Hey,
because
stay
everybody
ready.
got
So
one.
listen, stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
That part. I don't carry weapons, by the way. I got these.
I got them too, but I'm getting old, so you just never know if I just
Hey,
gotta.
right. The YNs don't care about them hands.
They don't. They
They
don't. They don't want
do
to fight
not
no
care about
more.
them hands, boy. That don't
They
matter
don't
how
want
you
to
up
fight.
up in 2 seconds. They got switches.
Man, okay. So listen, I'm matching energy. Okay. So I gotta stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Well,
All right.
shout out to Miss Cookie Baby who couldn't make it with us tonight, but she's here in spirit, I'm sure.
Yeah, she gonna pop up somewhere, I'm sure. She around here somewhere.
All good, all good. Thank you to our listeners who have joined in. If you guys are looking to enter the convo tonight, make sure you are following us on YouTube. That is the only way we can see our comments, YouTube and Facebook. So,
Yeah.
yes, if you're on Instagram, appreciate you, but head on over to YouTube at the 30 Plus Podcast and join the conversation. So, for those who missed it, our last episode was entitled Delayed, Not Denied, where we basically talked about things not happening in your time frame and how do you feel about that. So, Mike, I'll let you start off. How are your thoughts on the episode?
I feel like I have good thoughts. Hold on, let me my bad. I had to plug that up for the cutoff. But I had good episodes. After I re-listened to it, it actually re-helped me. You know what I mean? Like going back and listening to my own words about, being inspired about keep moving and understand just because you didn't get it when you wanted it doesn't mean you're not gonna get it. So it definitely inspired me. And I actually had a conversation with one of our listeners who felt like this came right in time. He was telling
Mm,
me how, he's been waiting for something and he thought he wasn't going to get it. And then, like, the day that he got it was the day he was listening to this and he felt like it all
wow.
lined up for him. And he called to tell me how great of episode this was and wanted me to tell y'all how great an episode this was. And that we're doing good work out here because, everything comes on time, but he was been waiting for like a certain type of job to come through, and it came through for him. He actually turned it down at first because he didn't feel like he was ready or couldn't do it or just wasn't in the mindset or the right place and time in life. But then it came back around for him, so he's feel very happy about that. So shout out to him, and just for listening to the episode and giving me that feedback. But as for me, I'm still with the point of if it's delayed, then it's not for me. Whatever shot.
Okay,
um, yeah, that was him.
okay, maybe.
That's a shot. Yeah, no, that was him. I was
Well,
not gonna lie.
congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations to him. But
Congratulations for sure.
yeah, he definitely made sure to call me and let me know this episode, really meant something to him and inspired him, and feel like it was right on time. So it's good to hear great feedback live. But again, for me, as I was saying, when it comes to delayed and not denied, I'm still at the point where I just don't feel like I'm ever delayed for anything, or denied, I should say, for anything. I do feel like delay, my, my personal word,
Man.
is happening for me. That's why I have my own term for it, because I feel like a lot of stuff be on delay for me. It be chilling, falling back, waiting. I don't ever feel like it's denied. I always feel like things are gonna happen for me when they're supposed to happen. So I don't believe anything being denied. Well, I do, because it do be a lot of stuff that gets shut down that I feel like I want to do or supposed to do, but yeah, it gets shut down very quickly, and that's how I know it's not for me.
Yeah. From this episode,
Yeah,
I just basically took the no's and turned it to not no, but not yet. And that was just something I had to learn on this episode is all no's aren't no's. It's just a not yet. And you just
that's
always
true.
being prepared for something greater than you. And it's oftentimes bigger than what you imagined in the first place. So this episode was for me an episode of patience. And for those who know, I also talked about career on the episode on, you know, being delayed in on my career path a little bit. Whether you feel like it's your fault, whether you feel like it's someone else's fault, whether you feel like the situation in, but sometimes God said go, and you have to be able to listen to that and honor those. And when He say move, move, and sometimes it's bigger than what you can even think of. So that was just something major for me. And so Rashad, I definitely understand what you're talking about because I live that truth and still living because He ain't done with me yet. I still have some other things I want to do and I mean,
Right.
I'm on a different assignment. And I think you feel that when you are moved on different
Yeah.
assignments too. Yeah.
So how do you feel like when you're denied? Like, how do you feel when you're denied for something? Like, has it been something that you've been wanting to do like that, and it just feel like it's not happening, and you feel like it's just not for you, even though you felt like it was for you?
I learned the lessons and I think I'm very intuitive. So sometimes when it's not happening, I was like, okay, what am I supposed to be learning in this season? So maybe that's not my season right now, but what am I supposed to be learning here in this moment that's going to propel me and prepare me for when I get to that? Sometimes you got to get, prepared for what you pray for. So if I'm
That's
not getting it in that moment, it's a reason why. What am I supposed to be? What lesson have I not learned? Or what assignment have I not finished that I haven't been able to get in that position yet? So that's just been a big thing for me, learning those lessons.
and dealing with it. I mean, I feel like I recently was denied for something that I just feel like was for me, and I knew it was mine. And I feel like I had prayed, fasted, and done everything, talked about it, manifested it, and all that, and it never happened. And then, of course, it's at a point now where it can't happen because at this point, that was for like a job.
Mm.
But, of course, that job has been fulfilled and taken, so I know I can never get that job. But um, even though I feel like I was denied, I still learned lessons as far as knowing like I can do this type of thing if I wanted to. This is the type of jobs and careers I could move in if I really wanted to. You know what I mean? It showed me
Right.
possibilities. I'm gonna say that. Like it made me open up the possibility of knowing this is a career path I can choose if I wanted to as well. You know what I mean? So I
So that
definitely
may
learned
have
a
been a
lesson.
lesson. Yeah. I was about to
Yeah.
say that may have been a lesson in that.
Yeah,
So
I learned some stuff from that denial. But
delay.
yeah, but that was definitely a denial. But they went with a
Yeah.
fairer skin.
And that happens sometimes too. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
hold you. Sometimes that happens. It happens a lot, and probably more often than it should. And when it happened to me, I did question myself on, okay, because at that point I had been in that particular situation for a long time. So it was kind of like a why not me,
Yeah.
especially when I'm already doing those functions. You know what I mean? And I
I
was like,
do.
okay, yeah. So, to sit there and like, okay, this is something different. And sometimes in order to move, you have to be made uncomfortable. And it's gonna keep
Yeah.
making you uncomfortable. And why it's not just the gospel, show, but it kind of is, what I'm saying, because this one is I think an episode on faith and how much you
That was
trust
crazy.
him. Yeah, how much you trust him during the denial period. And
Yeah, and
with
the delay period too.
mhm,
Because I mean, during that, while you being delayed and while you're sitting there in your patience, you gotta stay focused, you gotta stay faithful. You gotta stay goal minded and positive for sure.
mhm,
Because that one little piece of doubt is what's gonna that could be the reason you get denied. That one little piece of doubt in the back of your subconscious
mhm.
can make you act differently, make you think differently, which could cause your delay. You know what I mean? Like you could be up for a position, but your negative thinking, if you're not going to get it, is going to cause you to stutter in the interview, and that would make them feel like, oh, maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about, or she doesn't know what she's talking about just because you're nervous.
Right.
So it's little things like that can also delay you, but I feel like those type of things are just learning things. I feel like everything happens for a reason. So even if you are delayed, it's so that you might have forgot to turn the lights off and turn back around just so you wouldn't get into that 5-car pallet once you hop on the freeway.
Right.
You know what I
No,
mean?
facts. Facts.
Yeah.
Also, I think the show also came right on time. I mean, just think of the Sanders boys. You
Mhm.
know, they were thinking Shador was gonna go top 3 prospect in NFL. He went to what, 5 round, the 5th round,
Yeah.
to a team with 4 quarterbacks. But one thing I learned by watching them for the past 3 days, because for one, they kept the ratings up, but just to watch them for the past few days, if you kept listening to them, they never gave up faith
Yeah.
throughout those 3
They
days.
knew
Neither one of
they knew
them.
he
Yeah,
was going somewhere. They knew they were going somewhere. They just didn't know where or when, but it still came.
yeah. So again, definitely example of delay and not denied. Both of
Yeah,
them have been
because even if because somebody else projects something for you doesn't mean that's when it's going to happen. Just because somebody assumes you're going to go this way or go that way doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's all in God's time. So, that could have been a way of God's way of humbling them, of like, hey,
I can see
you're
that.
still going to go, but you just have to understand you're not going to be this until you do this. It's different steps that I feel like it comes before you get what you want. So even with them, it's different steps before you get drafted. Like, yeah, you can have the parties and have it lit, all that. That doesn't mean that's your time because you think it is. God says
Right.
when it's your time, and that could be 5 rounds later. You know what I mean?
Right. No, and exactly that's what it was. Because even and sometimes it's an arrogance things within ourselves. And I think sometimes we're humbled ourselves. Like,
Yeah,
okay, he thought he was a top 3 off top. You couldn't tell him that leading
yeah.
up to, the draft.
You
Hey,
seen the party? What had one
you
of
seen
us
the party, you
sisters?
seen the big background, you seen, but then as you notice, as the days kind of went by, while he never
Yeah,
gave up faith,
his
stuff
crew
was
did.
stripped away from him. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't in front of the couch anymore. He ain't had a big chain
Yeah,
on like he did at first. By the time he was at the drafted, he was at home on his couch.
by
So
itself.
it's yeah,
Well,
you know what I'm saying? So it almost like
not
things
by
were
itself,
stripped
but you
away
know what
by
I
that
mean.
point. But yeah, but the big party, the big hoopla, the big
Yeah,
arrogance that I think what he had once on day 1, by day
yeah,
3 was gone. And sometimes that's some of those things are shown to you as well. Like, hey, I'm gonna get it to you, but I need you to appreciate it differently.
yeah. It's sometimes all that celebration is not needed or rewarded yet.
Well, you're not from Houston.
All right, but it's humble.
Yeah,
But
not in Houston.
yeah, not in Houston at all. But I feel like that's a good example though, just because the way he had that giant celebration at the beginning, thinking what's coming. That's a part of it, of being denied, and the delay, because you're celebrating prematurely. You're celebrating something that you know it's going to come. You have the right to celebrate it. You know it's coming, but you don't know when. And sometimes celebrating early could throw off that, well, not throw that off, but can show you why the delay is important, to let you
Right.
know it's not, you don't celebrate until the win. You know what I mean? Like, he celebrated before the win. He's throwing this giant party before it even happens, instead
Mm-hmm.
of waiting until he was actually signed and then throw a signing party with all this, because it already happened. You know what I mean? So I feel
Right.
like that's a lesson in, I feel like the deny and the delay.
Yeah.
One, the delay part of, don't, chill, wait, see what's gonna happen, let it pan out. And then the not part was, you can celebrate all you want. That doesn't mean you're gonna get what you want to get or thought you were supposed to have. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you denied because you thought it was party, and that party wasn't even necessary or needed yet, because you're not at that point. You're not where you need to be for the celebration to even matter.
Right. And then I think he was also used as a speaking tool to kind of show different people different things too. So he was almost used as a vessel in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
that's, for example, as the lessons we're using right now to talk to these people. So,
Right.
I mean, it definitely was used worldwide, because it's something that I feel like was a great thing for everybody to see. As in, no matter how skilled or talented you may be, you can always think highly of yourself as well. And others can think highly of you, but that doesn't mean that's going to push you to where you're supposed to be any faster or any slower. What
Right.
is meant for you is meant for you when it's time, it is time.
Exactly. So another thing that you and I discussed was the delay in the relationship and the deny in the relationship. So what are your thoughts? Have your thoughts changed on that?
I don't know. I can't remember what I said about that.
Well, you mentioned on how you were engaged to be married
I was
and
engaged. I'm
how
not
that
engaged.
you were engaged. Oh, you forgot you have amnesia
Yeah, I was engaged about 10 years ago.
and that
Yeah,
deny. So that was
it
one of
was the
your
best thing that ever
examples.
happened to me.
That's what
That
I'm
was one of
saying.
the
So
best things that ever happened to me, though. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. I do believe in relationships. I feel like certain things are delayed on purpose. I feel like I create most of my delays. But in my relationships,
the origin of
uh,
the word.
yes.
Okay.
I definitely create all those, because I feel like I'm one of those people who moves kind of fast at first and then slow all the way down. Like, I be chilling. It's like, all right, let me make sure that I actually like you. So I feel like the delay in relationships definitely come from me, because before we could get a title, we're gonna take at least 90 days.
Yeah, we've talked about your road less travel, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of relationships, to the denial be the best part, because sometimes you want to get denied in these relationships. You want these relationships shut down. You want them to end quickly before you waste your time. And I feel like a denial in a relationship is a good thing. I feel like it's never a bad thing, because all you're doing is getting closer to the person you're supposed to be with, and away from
I
the ones you're
was
not
just about
supposed
to
to be with.
say that. I was just about to say
Right.
that. Honestly, yeah, no, no. Yeah, so I second that. Um, but you don't see it in that moment, but you see it afterwards. And I just think for me, I think that made me a will and have make me a better partner now
Yeah.
than it has back then, just because you learned the lesson from that denial
Yeah.
and the delay. Definitely from the delay, although you don't see it in that moment, but sometimes you question it, and then after the fact, you're like, "Oh, I see why." But sometimes you have to be on the
Yeah.
other side to actually see why. Like, "Oh, that's why that didn't work."
I feel like a
Whether it be
delay is
you,
good
whether it
in
be the
some
other person,
relationships.
huh?
Yeah. No, I said I feel like it's a good, some delayos in a relationship be good, because
You in this
some
word.
people, Hey, that's my new word for the episode. But some of
Urgent.
the, some people, they be dating, and they'll get together, break up, get together, break up. I feel like that's part of their delay. You know what I mean? It's like it's taking them time to get to know each other, to get to see what they really want. And it's like it's not that you're not meant to be together. It's just meant, it's taking you time to learn each other, to learn new things, to learn yourself, before you even get together. Because it's even like the one girl that there's actually one girl that I really do like a lot that
Mm-hmm.
low key in love with, but
We know.
like playing the long game. But
Okay.
I feel like this delay is so that when it does happen, it'll be something strong and real versus the other way that I'm used to doing things.
I think that delay with you, also your delay-o, like you like to put it eloquently, is also because of some things that you have to learn. I think you
Yeah,
know what you're supposed to do, but I'm not 100% sure if you're ready to do some of those things.
that's
You see,
that's not
there's
100%
still
correct.
a yeah, there's still a bit a back and forth with you, and I think
Always.
you got to shake that in order to get that person, because I believe that particular person not gonna play with you, and you can't do
Uh,
some of the things that you, huh?
I said probably not.
I don't think she is, and I think that in order for it to you to get that, you're going to have to be legit. Mike the Menace doesn't have to put his jersey in the rafters.
I don't feel like he'll ever put his jersey in Raptor. That's like Joe from You. It's like it's that
Yeah,
deep down
no,
urge in the back of you to be really who they truly are.
mm-mm,
Oh man,
no
my bad.
sir.
I started watching You.
I haven't started yet, but I will this last season.
Yes, yeah, I started
Yeah,
last night. So, but yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Anyway,
no.
but I do believe that delays in relationships are good things. I don't feel like I see those as bad things. Just because I feel like if you're being delayed with somebody, it's usually for a good reason. For you to learn a lesson, for you to for you to
I
learn a
tried. They don't
lesson,
hear
and
me.
for you to. I don't think no, actually, I don't think I've ever talked to any of y'all friends, but
Oh, I would. Oh no, none of my friends. It would have to be a stranger. I would never fly with any of my friends, not on purpose.
it's,
An
it's all
associate
right.
maybe, but not one of my
I didn't
my
talk to
good
some of your
friends.
associates apparently.
I had nothing to do with that.
I'm
So if
just
it's
saying.
something that you did on your own and you met on your own time and they just so happen to know me,
Uh,
then that's different. But I would not personally
Houston
put you
is
down with my
small. That's all
friend.
I'm gonna say. Yes, it
I
will
hope
be.
not.
And y'all remember who made it up. It will
I
be.
hope not. I
Y'all
hope
remember
not.
who made it because
I hope
DeLeo is a
not.
new word and it sounds
I,
correct to me. So
I hope not.
it's gonna be
So
in
all
there.
our people that are tuned into Instagram, do us a favor and head on over to YouTube at the 30 Plus Podcast and join the conversation. That is the only place we can see you. Um, yeah.
Yes. And we appreciate you for watching on Instagram, but we want you to come talk to us. So pull up on the YouTube and Facebook so you can comment, so we can post them and comment back. I know
Right.
y'all be talking on Instagram, but by the time we go and see that, it'd be a little too late. So
Yeah, we
pull up
won't
on us
see
on
it.
YouTube.
Please
And
and thank you
appreciate all the lawyer followers.
for sure.
Um, yeah, don't be delayed because we ain't gonna deny y'all. Pull up on pull us up
Thanks.
on, pull us up
Thanks.
on YouTube.
Yeah, we've been
So
doing this. Is like episode 3 now. So yeah, come on with it. Head on over to YouTube and yeah, join the conversation. Yeah, for sure. So how do you
it's
stay
live.
motivated when everything feels like you're stuck in a waiting mode?
I listen to this podcast, the 30 Plus podcast. Sometimes that helps
Yeah.
me. Going back and listening to myself and reminding of myself of the stuff I said. It's like, oh, it's not what you got to remember you said that. So
Mhm.
it actually does help me. Like I said, when I went back and listened to this episode, I was like, oh, snap, I'm forgetting the reason I'm supposed to be living. Because sometimes you have those moments where you forget while you're waiting for whatever to happen, you forget why you're even doing anything or what you're supposed to do. So, sometimes I'll come back and listen to episodes and remind myself of the things I said. And that will motivate me to, remember like, okay, stuff is happening how it happens, it's going to happen when it happens. Other ways I stay motivated is I like to go out. I feel like once I go outside and I just see life, it just reminds me that it's not stopping. Like stuff is always happening, something's going on. Like you're not alone, because I sit alone in my my little loft by myself. So I need to be outside amongst people. I don't have any family or kids or loved ones. I will have mom, sister, but any love life like that. So it'd be I be needing to get outside to see people. So I feel like just seeing the world motivates me to know that stuff goes on. Just seeing people that I know do different, or just seeing, random people walk up looking nice. So the outside life inspires me.
For me, I think in a waiting season, what I do is sit and reflect and try to learn the lessons that I'm supposed to learn that will put me in position. Because again, I'll get the idea before the action typically comes into play. So if it doesn't happen in that moment, I take it as a sign that I'm supposed to be learning something or having a different assignment at that moment. And I kind of try to hone in on that and figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. And typically once I learn that lesson, then that idea kind of come back. Like for instance, this podcast itself, the original idea came back during the pandemic. And while the idea came to me, I didn't feel the action still took a couple of years after that in order for this to come into play now. So sometimes that happens too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the idea. Hey, what you drinking tonight?
I made me some Crown Royal with 2 different type of Grand Marnier, and froze it with some Diet Dr. Pepper, and added a little hint of Enlightenment Yaba drink, and it is delicious.
Okay. What is it? Is it the blueberry Crown Royal or blackberry?
No, it's an apple. I did Crown Apple.
No, but there's a blackberry.
The blackberry. Yeah, that's the blackberry. I need to try. And they got a blackberry Dr. Pepper now too. They got a blackberry Dr. Pepper now.
I don't know about all that, but I know they got that blackberry Crown, and it's mix it with lemonade, simply lemonade.
All right, it's on the list.
Change your life, I'm telling you. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's not overly sweet. Real adult like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Real 30 plus.
Real 30 pluses, you know what I mean? So in addition to the delayed, not denied episode, we did a 30 plus therapy where people allowed us to submit questions and we fixed their life. So I'm gonna try to play it from my episode and we'll go in and talk about it. Let's see if this works. Just trying something on. We'll talk about it.
Or I guess I can ask, how do you handle holding yourself and others accountable in your 30s? And where do you place your boundaries?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we need to hold all these women accountable. Let's start there.
You started off so well.
Hey, I'm just
so saying, well.
But we know women need to be held accountable. This is crazy. Like how everybody talking about the 100 men versus the gorilla. I seen something talking about 100 women versus accountability. So first, let's start with taking accountability for yourself. Once you do that, then we can go on to everybody else. I just feel like women don't even do that before they worry about any type of other boundary and accountability.
Are you trying to rile me up? We were doing fine.
We were doing fine. But no, as an adult, I feel like everyone should take accountability for themselves and their actions, and whether men or women, more so women, because I feel like men do it naturally. But I think everyone should take accountability for their actions. Because men
take accountability naturally?
Yeah, they do.
You saying that with a straight face?
Yes.
Has your alcohol kicked in?
It might have, but I'm sure somebody in the chat second that. But yeah, men take accountability. Come on, about you're wild. It's crazy.
Cause what?
But no,
He doing something. Cause
but
what?
nah, let's be real. Everybody know that men take more accountability than women. I feel like women, you have to really, press the issue for them to take
You said this
accountability.
5 times. Like this real? You really feel this way?
I really do feel this way. It'd be some of the maybe it's because of what I've been dealing with and what I be saying lately. I'm like, you just go not take accountability for your actions, the things you said, the things you did. I feel like women, well, just in general, women just don't take accountability for a majority of their actions. They always have a scapegoat, or their logic is so different to where it makes their accountability seem like they're taking account, but they're not. But in a general aspect of the question, I feel like just call people out on the things that they do, and that's the best way to get somebody to take accountability, as well as setting boundaries. I feel like if you tell people what you will and will not accept, and they go past that, then you call them out, make them take accountability, and then if they still don't, then you just don't mess with them no more. Plain and simple. So even his wife struggles with accountability.
Lord have mercy.
So yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think it's just because of women's logic. Women's logic is kind of crazy these days, and that might be our next episode: logic, men versus women. But we'll talk about that a little later. But again, I feel like as an adult, to get somebody else to be accountable and to respect your boundaries, you just have to state them clearly what your boundaries are. And then once this person crosses it, you call them out on it. Once you call them out on it and they don't take accountability, then you stop talking to them. But the best way to make them do it is call them out. Call them out. Call them out. You said you was going to do this. You told me this. You were supposed to this. If they don't, I feel like if you don't check people, that's what I call it from back in my days. You got to check people. Sometimes you got to check them to make them, hold accountability.
Without you trying to gender bait me this evening and removing all gender to the thing, I would agree with you is to hold their feet to the fire, be it male or female. I don't think accountability has a gender specific connotation to it. However, I think it has more so to do with your emotional intelligence than your gender. Because I think if you're a grown woman and you can see the error of your ways, then that's not a problem. And it should be the same for men. Man logic is a little different too. But again, I'm not going to allow you to bait me in that conversation this evening. It's Monday. I'm feeling good, and I'm not going to let you do it this evening. However, at the end of the day, like our listener was asking, I think you just have to hold their feet to the fire and make them stand on what they said. That's why I think words of affirmation is my love language. Because for me, once you say it, I can hold you to it.
Yeah.
And then I can align your words to your actions. So for me, but I also have a high level of emotional intelligence too. So,
Yeah, no, every woman doesn't have that, so that might be why you can't understand they don't have a logic.
I can't. But, I can't. Sorry.
I don't know.
I've done work.
Well, when it comes to accountability, I feel like make sure that you hold yourself accountable first, because if you hold yourself accountable, then I feel like everybody else around you will respect you enough to know that they have to do the same. It's like some of my friends know that they can't come around me, saying stuff that's just all willy-nilly without me calling them out. They know, like, I'm going to make them stand on that. They know I'm going to bring it back up, or I'm going to something. Like, you just can't come around me and, do certain stuff. I'm going to make you hold accountability. Even if it's like saying something around me that I don't agree with, or disrespecting somebody, I'll hold somebody accountable for that. Like, you can't be around me disrespecting people. I'll make you, stand up and be a better person. So as an adult, make sure you hold yourself accountable and respect other people's boundaries, and then 9 out of 10 they should do the same.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. But you see how you removed the gender lines out of that and you just made it about the individual? That I can get behind. So
I mean,
what we're
that's
going to
just.
do, we're going to leave it there before you try it again. So we appreciate you guys for tuning into the 30 Plus Podcast live episode recap, where you can catch all of our live episodes the Monday after our Thursday drop. Go back and listen to all of our episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, whatever you listen to your podcast, and YouTube. YouTube has become our one-stop shop. You can listen to both our audio version and our video version. Make sure you're following us at the 30 Plus Podcast on all social media. And if you have a 30 Plus therapy that you want us to attack, hit us at the 30 Plus Podcast at gmail.com. Anything else you would like to say that is not toxic fly this evening?
All right. Well, if y'all see this recap or you watching any other recap or live, just know if you want to continue these conversations, just comment on our post and we'll hop in there and get the battling and going back and forth with you, or just recognize your comment or statement. All you gotta do is at me and I'm in there. So I'm Flosson's birth. So do that. And we can continue these conversations if you feel like you had something else to say, or if you feel like whatever I said had made you feel some type of way, go ahead and slide on our comments, and I'm going to slide back and check you.
Well, he's not going to keep you in delay. He's going to answer you right then. So, yeah.
That's facts. I won't keep you in delay. I will come pull up on you as soon as I see it.
Absolutely. So, until next time, be good. And if you can't be good at it. See you when we see you. Peace.
Alrighty.